Okay, so hello, I am Shea, and this is my video demo for my 2D platformer. My chosen mechanic was sound, and I wanted to show progression with it and a kind of narrative story type of thing. So this is my game. I'm gonna play through it here and let you just see everything in it. As you can see with the dialog boxes there, I can click to skip through them so the player doesn't need to wait for the text all to type out. I also went for a kind of like humorous fourth wall sarcastic take with the dialogue. I wanted to innovate there a little bit, kind of like how Undertale does it, but it is a risk to do that in your games because you want players to take it seriously and get emotionally attached and spend money on it, all that. Yeah, to talk about the level a little bit too, I went with a bar setting because I feel like a bar would have been good to really demonstrate sound. It'll have sounds of bands playing, people being rowdy, TVs and stuff, background noise, bottles being poured and broken. Um, so yeah, I think that was a good place to kind of set it and show off sound. There are colliders on the edge so the player doesn't fall off. This is more of a Metroidvania type style of platformer rather than like a Mario platformer, say. But I think this is a really good level for showing progression and different types of interactable objects and stuff that will give you dialogue and feedback. I wanted to set it up that way as progression, with a door down here that isn't the right door, and then one upstairs that you actually can go to, and different things to explore and interact with. To talk about my player, this is her. It's an appropriate sprite for a 2D platformer. It has idle animations, movement animations. It is able to go up ladders and look okay. It does fit in, and for the movement script, it's right here. It controls the animations, the movement. It also plays the footstep sounds, and it has the jump function and a ground check, so that the player can't double jump. It checks for the distance the player is from the ground, and that's needs to essentially be zero to let them be able to jump. For the theme of my game, this character is called Scalera, and the one that's missing is called Iris. Those are eye parts, and the name of the game is essentially Black Eye. I came up with that when it was a fighting type of game, but I didn't end up going with that. I'll get into that more as I reflect at the end of the video. But the theme is basically she's on a bar. Iris has got in a fight or something and has run out of the bar. So Scalera needs to explore the bar, um, find any points of interest that'll help point her to where Iris is, and basically find them and fix the stuff and get out of the bar. Essentially, is the aim of this. And I use the sound kind of to give the player good feedback to them. So the sound will play and then the text box will come up. So the sound alerts them to the text box, and that lets them take in the narrative. Like, oh, I should look at this text box and read it. That's kind of what I was going for with that theme. Um, and the bar was a good place to enhance that. My mechanic, which was sound with progression, um, I used an audio manager script. Let me open it. So I have this audio manager with a string array, and essentially it lets me add sounds to this audio manager, which is an empty game object in the scene. and from there I can add all the sounds, add the clips, control the volume and stuff. Let me show you. So yeah, right here. I can add the sounds, name them, add the clip, control the volume, and I can do all this here for all my sounds. And then when I want to play the sound, I just use a line of code, which would be something like this in my trigger. So find the object of type audio manager and play the sound, and I can just reference the name of the actual sound. So say theme, I can just type in theme and it'll play that sound. There's different ways of doing this, but I went for the on trigger method, which is what I also did with the dialog box. So this script here basically gets the audio manager, gets the dialog boxes, and it'll both play a sound, which will spawn an audio source and take it away when it's done. It'll play that sound, and then it'll also set the dialog box to active and then take that away. That's how I basically did everything with designing the level in the game. I wanted the player to run into these objects, get the sound, get the dialog box feedback, and then have it go away, and she can move on to other points of interest and see what they have to say. I feel like using the sound with the progression was good synergy, because to me having that feedback of the sound play and the dialogue box, it makes you pay more attention to the actual dialogue and read it, and lets you think about it more. You'll read dialogue that says, "Oh, he went upstairs," so I'll think, "Let me go upstairs," but then I'll see things that are making sounds on this side of the downstairs, and I'll want to go to them and actually get that feedback again with the audio and the dialogue and see what they have to say. Let me show my dialogue scripts as well here. So for the dialogue, I basically have this on my dialogue boxes in the UI here. Yeah, right here, and they're all set to off as default. And let's see, the dialogue here lets me put in lines basically that I want to play and set like the text speed and things like that. And this dialogue trigger, which is what sets the objects back to active so that you can read those and then get rid of them so they're not always there. And this dialogue is basically used to help with the narrative aspect and the progression and let you think about where to go and how the story is going. To reflect on this, I think it was a good experience changing my idea, because I had the battle idea and then I realized I had so much to learn before I dove into that aspect of game development. So I reined it back and decided to explore dialogue and audio and progression, because that's really a good baseline of basically all games. And it was good to explore that, see what I can do with that, and give it my own twist.